we didn't ask you guys to protect us. If we want to go out there and fight 12 3-minute rounds, y'all should just make a sign a consent form and move on with it. We don't need you guys to say, "Oh, we're doing this because we are protecting you guys." Boxing is dangerous, whether you guys are protecting us or not, and we already signed up for a dangerous sport. So just go ahead and pay us our money.
So, Claressa, you got a huge fight coming up March 5th.
Yes.
Marie-Eve Dicaire for the junior middleweight championship. How has this pandemic impacted your training?
Well, this pandemic has been about a year, right? So for the first few months, yeah, I had kind of bloomed up. I got to 195 pounds. Now I'm back down to 168. Been down to 168 for the past 3-4 months. And I mean, it just kind of made me actually train harder, to be honest. So like it was so many opportunities that were missed because of coronavirus, and then with boxing being sexist, also a lot of opportunities that I just wasn't given. So I stayed in the gym, I stayed training, I stayed ready, just waiting on the perfect opportunity to when I could have a fight. So it didn't really affect me a whole lot, but I guess it was a great rest time because this year is supposed to be very explosive for myself.
Yeah, but in that downtime, I'm sure like a lot of people, you were dealing with a lot. Did you find, was it harder or easier for you to stay focused during that time?
I would say it was harder because in boxing, especially for myself, I always like to look forward to something. And I didn't really have much to look forward to. It was like 1 minute I had a boxing match, and the next minute it was canceled. Or 1 minute, we were talking with this network about having a fight. Then they were saying, "Hey, we're gonna put this guy on instead of you." So it was discouraging at times, but I just always just kept saying, "Okay, this must be God setting me up for something bigger than," which I didn't know what bigger was until March 5th came along.
Well, you said something a moment ago about boxing being sexist. This is something that you've been very vocal about in terms of
Yeah.
letting people know what this looks like in boxing for women. Across the board, I'm sure you've noticed this, that when you're a female athlete, there is always a fight, a constant fight for your respect. I mean, it's my belief why you see a lot of female athletes that tend to make the best activists, that tend to lead the way when it comes to social justice causes, because they're used to constantly fighting for their respect. In your world, in the boxing world, what does the fight for equality look like for you?
I mean, like the fight for equality is just the fight for everything. The fight for equal pay, right, is on the top of the list. The fight for equal TV time, for equal opportunity, and just the fight for equality. Period. To just fight the same time as the men, like to go in the ring and have a world championship fight and fight 3 minutes for 12 rounds. And it's like they have every reason in the world to why women can't do it versus another woman. And it's like, what makes you guys think that we can't get our bodies in shape to do 12 3-minute rounds? And we already box. Like I spar against men, and I spar 12 3-minute rounds. I spar 3-minute rounds, but I only have to get ready for a 10 round fight in only 2 minutes. But it's like, what is the extra minute really gonna do to us? And it's like, and it's just more of like, we didn't ask you guys to protect us. If we want to go out there and fight 12 3-minute rounds, y'all should just make a sign a consent form and move on with it. We don't need you guys to say, "Oh, we're doing this because we are protecting you guys." Boxing is dangerous, whether you guys are protecting us or not, and we already signed up for a dangerous sport. So just go ahead and pay us our money equally. Give us the equal fight time and equal opportunity, and then we can all live happily ever after. But they just want to give us all these excuses to why women are not as good as men, and it's like it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
So I know you're a big fan of Serena Williams, and what you said reminds me of the
Yeah.
fight that her and Venus had to fight to get equal prize money in Wimbledon. And the rationale was very similar. It was men play more sets, so that's why they should get paid more. Even though we all know that when it comes to American tennis, the Williams sisters have pretty much have been carrying American tennis for like 20 years at least, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, they
Hmm.
are the superstars of this. But as you continue, to fight and to be vocal about how you're being held back from an economic standpoint, are you ever concerned that being so vocal about this and fighting for this may cost you some opportunities?
Yeah, but also too, I feel like God will set up something to where I will have bigger opportunities in it, and from the way it's looking, me being as vocal as I've been has gotten me 350,000 for a purse. Me bringing this stuff to their attention has actually gotten me further than me just kind of sitting back and kind of letting them give me whatever they give me and be like, oh yeah, I just need to accept it because I'm making more than the next girl, or I'm making more than my counterparts. It's like 350K is a lot, but is 350K a lot compared to a man who's making 36 million a fight?
Mm.
And we have, and I have more accomplishments, and just the fighter who I want to compare myself to is Canelo Alvarez. And yeah, people are going to go on the uproar about this, but Canelo Alvarez doesn't have not even one Olympic gold medal. I have two. Right. So now we go to the professional leagues. I'm a 3-time division world champion in 10 fights. Canelo just became a 4-time division world champion. And I believe he's, I don't know, 46 or maybe 42-0. And it's like I'm doing everything faster than him. I'm taking the risk, and still I have to yell and tell people all the time, equal rights, equal pay, equal TV time, equal opportunity.
Yeah,
So
because
just like,
you're both putting yourself at risk, right? You get a concussion just like he can, right? Something bad can happen to you just
exactly.
like him, right? So
And I fought against girls who are 24-0, 11 knockouts, and I only have 10 fights right now. So I'm fighting against these girls when I'm 8-0. I fought a girl that was 16-0 with 9 knockouts when I was 4-0 to become a world champion. And this is me putting myself at risk. And it's still just like, if their reason for not paying us is as equal to the men is because we don't fight the same time as the men. Okay, well, we've been vocal about wanting to fight 12 3-minute rounds for a very long time. If that's the reason why we don't get paid the same, that's the main thing that needs to be changed then.
have you ever received any reasonable explanation for why that is? I mean, are they telling you that they're doing this for safety? Like, what's the rationale between having women fight less time and less rounds?
One of the organizations, the WBC, who I'm very, very cool with, I love Mauricio Suleiman, they said that they had a test in 1990-ish where they had women tested some kind of test. I don't know, it was verbal or whatever. I don't know. But they said that that's where they decided that it should be 10 rounds for 2 minutes, that it was better for our safety. And then he said something about our necks being weaker than men's, and it's easier for us to get concussions. And I'm like, all that sounds very great. I understand all of that, but where is the scientific proof? And also, men's necks are necks, and they're going against other men. We are women going against women. So if you want to say, okay, let's say if our necks aren't as strong as the men, and our necks are weaker. Okay, well, it's two weak necks versus two weak necks. So it, let's just have weak necks go 12 3-minute rounds. Like that's what we signed up for. You know what I mean? Like, but he said that there was proof and there was paperwork, and no one has ever seen it.